On this day in history, December 16th, in the Seven-Year War, the Battle of Noryang in 1598 unfolded as a decisive confrontation between the Chinese and Korean allied forces against Japanese navies. The intense maritime engagement tested the strategic prowess of the participating nations. Allied forces ultimately emerged victorious, marking a significant moment in the conflict. The Convention Parliament in 1689 saw the embodiment of the Declaration of Right into the Bill of Rights. This legislative action represented a crucial moment in the constitutional development of England. The document would have far-reaching implications for the governance and rights of citizens. Mount Fuji experienced its most recent eruption in 1707, a significant geological event for Japan. The volcanic activity would have profound impacts on the surrounding landscape and communities. This eruption stands as a testament to the dynamic geological nature of the Japanese archipelago. During the Seven Years' War in 1761, Russian forces under Pyotr Rumyantsev successfully concluded a 4-month siege of the Prussian fortress of Kołobrzeg. The military operation demonstrated the strategic capabilities of the Russian army. This victory contributed to the complex geopolitical landscape of the period. The Boston Tea Party in 1773 saw members of the Sons of Liberty, disguised as Mohawk Indians, dramatically protest the Tea Act. Hundreds of tea crates were dumped into Boston Harbor as a bold statement against British colonial policies. This act of defiance would become a pivotal moment in the lead-up to the American Revolution. Virginia became the first state to ratify the Articles of Confederation in 1777. This momentous decision represented a significant step in the formation of the young United States. The ratification highlighted Virginia's important role in the early political development of the nation. In 1782, a significant anti-British uprising occurred during the Muharram Rebellion, led by Hada and Madamiya in Sylhet, Shahi Idgah. The rebellion targeted Robert Lindsay and his contingents in the British-controlled region of the Indian subcontinent. This uprising represented an early act of resistance against British colonial rule. Benjamin W. Edwards boldly rode into Mexican-controlled Nacogdoches, Texas, in 1826, declaring himself the ruler of the Republic of Fredonia. This audacious act was a dramatic moment of territorial ambition and political upheaval. The self-proclaimed republic would be short-lived, but symbolized the complex political landscape of the era. The Great Trek's Battle of Blood River in 1838 saw Voortrekkers led by Andries Pretorius and Sarel Cilliers defeating Zulu impis commanded by Dambuza and Nlela Kusompisi in what is now KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. The battle was a pivotal moment in the conflict between European settlers and indigenous African forces. This engagement would have significant long-term implications for the region's political and social development. In 1850, the Canterbury Pilgrims arrived in Lyttelton, New Zealand, aboard the ships Charlotte, Jane, and Randolph. This marked the beginning of a significant wave of European settlement in the region. The arrival of these pioneering settlers would shape the future development of New Zealand's South Island. The Battle of Nashville in 1864, during the American Civil War, saw the Union's Army of the Cumberland decisively routing the Confederacy's Army of Tennessee. This engagement effectively destroyed the Confederate military unit's combat capabilities. The battle represented a crucial turning point in the Western theater of the Civil War. The First Boer War erupted in 1880 between the Boer South African Republic and the British Empire. This conflict would be a significant moment in the struggle for control of South African territories. The war highlighted the tensions between colonial powers and local resistance. During the Tonkin Campaign in 1883, French forces successfully captured the Sunte Citadel. This military action was part of France's colonial expansion in Southeast Asia. The capture of the citadel demonstrated the military might of the French colonial forces. In 1905, a legendary rugby match known as the Match of the Century took place between Wales and New Zealand at Cardiff Arms Park. The game was a momentous event in the world of rugby union. This match would be remembered as a defining moment in the sport's history. The First Balkan War saw the Royal Hellenic Navy defeating the Ottoman Navy at the Battle of Ely in 1912. This naval engagement was a significant moment in the complex conflicts of the Balkan region. The victory represented an important step in the changing balance of power in the area. During World War I in 1914, Admiral Franz von Hipper commanded a naval raid on the British coastal towns of Scarborough, Hartlepool, and Whitby. The surprise attack targeted civilian areas, bringing the war directly to British shores. This raid was a provocative act that intensified the naval tensions of the conflict. In the Holocaust's dark history, Schutzstaffel Chief Heinrich Himmler issued an order in 1942 to deport Roma candidates for extermination to Auschwitz. This directive was part of the Nazi regime's systematic persecution of Roma people. The order represented a chilling escalation of the genocide carried out during World War II. The Battle of the Bulge began in 1944 with a surprise offensive by 3 German armies through the Ardennes forest. This massive counterattack was Nazi Germany's last major offensive on the Western Front during World War II. The battle would become one of the largest and bloodiest engagements fought by the United States during the war. The Second Vatican Council officially revoked the Edict of Expulsion of Jews from Spain in 1968. This momentous decision represented a significant step towards reconciliation and healing historical wounds. The revocation was part of broader efforts to address past religious persecution. The Bangladesh Liberation War and Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 concluded with the surrender of the Pakistan Army. This pivotal moment brought an end to both conflicts and led to the independence of Bangladesh. The event is commemorated annually as Victory Day in Bangladesh and India. On the same day in 1971, the United Kingdom officially recognized Bahrain's independence. This diplomatic recognition marked a significant moment in Bahrain's path to nationhood. The event is now commemorated annually as Bahrain's National Day. The Jeltexan riots erupted in Alma-Ata, Kazakh SSR, in 1986 in response to Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev's dismissal of ethnic Kazakh Dinmuhamed Kunaev. The protests highlighted the growing tensions within the Soviet system and ethnic conflicts. The riots were a manifestation of broader social and political unrest in the late Soviet period. Protests broke out in Timișoara, Romania, in 1989 in response to an attempt to evict dissident Hungarian pastor Laszlo Tokes. These demonstrations would become a crucial moment in the Romanian Revolution. The protests marked the beginning of the end for the Ceaușescu regime. The Zhanaozen massacre occurred in Kazakhstan in 2011, with violent protests by oil workers leading to 16 deaths and 100 injuries at the hands of security forces. The incident highlighted the social and economic tensions in Kazakhstan. The massacre drew international attention to labor rights and government repression in the country. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll see you in the next video.